Hello there, I'm Jerry the Music Man, Yukon caster, ECS owner, ECS staff match winner ×2. And I'm here to tell you today, in my dressing gown, that this is it.
This is the final stage of the Elite Championship Series 2021 winter season.
After an intense league season, the top-bracketed teams from our open contenders and major division will be battling it out for a total prize pool.
€800.
800 euros.
And being crowned ECS Winter 2021 champions.
It won't be easy.
In past matches, we have seen major teams fall to the likes of Open Team.
Hang on, I need to change this bit. Up to it won't be easy. All that is good.
Only time will tell who our champions will be.
The final stage of the league is made up of a simple elimination bracket.
2 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals, a loser's final, and then the game everybody has been waiting for.
The staff show match.
Cut there. Start again.
I mean the grand finals.
Across stage 1 and 2, we've seen the mighty Paragon and the Last Resort, both contenders teams, make their way through to the final stages to face the very best of the major division. You can cut there. Why can't I get this one? Okay, another cut there. That was a bit awkward. I mean, it's all awkward, but I'll do it again.
See someone in the corner? No, he doesn't. Does he know of this? This could be huge, and he does get found. No, he doesn't. Bruno with the 180 as Azor gets one and no gets.
Can maybe expand to, but Nuddle's gonna be rotating. He does it. He catches 2. That's gonna be Monks, and Kusik wiped off the board. That was a double, nearly a collat.
Of the defenders, so it could work well for the smoke. Dropping the hats, the attacker Cariudo getting a double, dropping into freezer, completely unaware. And he gets
quad kill. It's an ace.
Yes, the ace. Cariudo drops into
Even if he
freezer.
does, so dynamic that even if they do manage to grab this diffuser, which they look like they're about to, does pick up 1 kill for himself and win. But Bill will set the diffuser down beneath that hatch. Ash now has to do double duty, trying to cover from the pinch, and she will do it perfectly. Kaz with the swing on both defenders.
There's go, but he's not going to spot the player by AK. No, Textrolo sneaks on in, and he's going to be able to get one of Choco. Can't find 3 as the Legion's going to walk on in, gets the yellow ping, but can't. Or he's going to be able to get Frenzy. 2 more to go. He's going to be able to get it all. 1 more on Junior. Can he hold it out together?
So before that, Hazard left DBNO will finally be cleaned up as well, and just like that, TLR.
So, without further ado, fasten your seatbelts.
It's time to dance.
Ready your angled grips.
It's now or never.
Hold on to your hats.
Now let's head over to our desk. Jerry out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're here in the quarterfinals. Hope you enjoyed that intro video. I'm Skittle. Joining me on broadcast tonight is Yannick. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely great, man. Thank you for asking. I've got quite the banger of a game today. Skittle.JPEG versus Paragon. Paragon coming all the way from Contenders Division, just showing up in the finals, showing what they're made of. I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah, this is going to be a real close one. I've heard a lot of back and forth on Twitter about, maybe who is predicted to take this series home and who maybe will be sent out of the playoffs earlier than they had hoped for. Last match we had, or the last one specifically that I had managed to cast, was a bit of a confusing one. We had fast maps overall, but the series was drawn out, and for this series tonight in the quarterfinals, I'm hoping that we get to see that full flurry of all 3 maps.
Exactly. 3 maps is what we all dream for as casters. We want to see that exhilarating gameplay, maybe even overtime on all 3 maps. Honestly, the longer we sit here and cast, the happier I will be.
Always good to go for the full foray, but let's jump into who we're actually going to have the chance to cast tonight. We can walk through each of these rosters and get a better idea of who is going to be haunting the playing field. Over on Paragon, I think that's the team I'm a little bit more familiar with personally. I managed to catch a few instances of their game. Their statistics, from what we have in the data pool, not exactly the best. Urso, Malusi, that secondary entry role, 0.98. And for Taps to be playing Ash and Jaeger, to have nearly a double negative KD and not even a 0.6 rating? My, that tells quite the story, Yannick.
Indeed, and I think that's only half of the story. I mean, if we are here at the end, right? So I think this data pool is, as you said, not complete, as we do have a couple of triple zeros and Dilly and Bailey. So I think we're missing a couple games here, because they made it all the way here where we are right now, so I think maybe you'll see more of the picture today.
I would certainly hope so. Nobody likes to sit with a rating that low for too long, and perhaps for Paragon in the quarterfinals tonight, this serves as an opportunity to redeem themselves moving forward and show us that sometimes statistics, they don't mean everything. Perhaps with a little bit more practice, getting comfortable with your team, moving into these best of threes, you'll have an opportunity to kind of defy the odds and really show us that they are semifinals material. Over on Skittle.JPEG, I'm curious to see the sort of antics that they'll have going on. I always like to see a team with a fun name, but their confidence behind this one is ironclad. And from what I've seen on Twitter going through the regular season, only one map loss so far, and that was a fairly close one too.
Indeed, from what I've heard, and when you look at the player ratings, especially on Joker, right, that 1.97 KD, oh my, if that's your entry fragger with a 1.97 KD, he's going to tear through the defense of any team at that point. If you look at Jinx as well, Inferior's all above a 1.4 KD, that's insane. And Jinx is on the support as well. Nomad and Mozzie, they're not the operators you think of when you think of high kill numbers and low deaths. But if you look at Stockhatch, 0.93 on the Zofia and the Mute, more of a support player. It's more expected, right? Like Skittle.JPEG, from what I've seen, and especially from one of our players that's actually a caster for us here at ECS, I expect big things from them, and he has told us, Kenny has told us a lot about his team, and he expects them to win, so, well, we'll see.
We certainly will. We'll go away from the rosters and swap over to figuring out just where this best of three will take place on. I had a little bit of a sneak behind the screen as far as which maps will be coming on through. Glad to have Oregon, kind of the rhyme and reason, banned out immediately, not leaving any chance that'll come up on the playing field tonight. Introducing, however, Theme Park and Coastline, two quite exotic maps to have on display.
Indeed, very exotic, especially Theme Park, right? I haven't seen that a lot in ECS, maybe single digits, I don't know the exact number on that. And with that being said, it's probably going to be one of the last times anyone on ECS, or maybe anyone in competitive Siege, is going to cast it, as we all know, and I'm kind of sad about it, but it's going out of the competitive map pool.
Yeah, certainly a lot of discussion around that topic of whether Theme Park was the one to go, or perhaps another map could fill that slot. On the decider, we have a much more, I would say, reasonable map, kind of a standardized place to go, Cafe Dostoevsky. I'm curious to see, after Theme Park, after Coastline gets over specifically, for that third map, if the energy and endurance is still going to be there. Because Coastline, as second in series, that's going to require you to really be at your best. And come Cafe, maybe you're at your wit's end, so perhaps we'll see kind of a little bit of players start to get a little bit more tired as we delve deeper into this series. For Cafe, it always seems to be that map that tends to go to overtime as compared to more of the one-sided or one-side focused maps. Generally, Cafe, kind of an even one going through the map.
Indeed, Cafe is definitely one of the more balanced maps, especially if you look into maybe a map like Coastline, which is a bit swayed against the attacker side, for the attacker side, excuse me. I'm interested to see, as you said, Coastline requires to be on focus. You need to be focused on that. You need to win your gunfights. Coastline is definitely a map where your gun skills and you basically have to be quick on the draw and be pinpoint accurate.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times when I'm going on a Coastline, the main topic that's being brought up is there's not a whole lot of room for errors on Coastline. It feels like if you start off the round, you get one thing wrong, the defense or the attack, whichever side is landing favored on that other side of the coin, they're going to let you know about it. For Theme Park, on attack for Theme, it is grueling. No one likes to play attack on Theme, and maybe depending on where the siding go, like whoever starts on defense first, they could be in a much greater position. And there's always that subject of, is it just going to be, one team performs just because a map is favored to a certain side? Are they going to be able to perform that comeback once we get over to the second split? Or is there just going to be all the momentum completely sweeping through behind one team?
Yeah, indeed, that's a very big question, and I can actually spill some of the beans here. Paragon will be starting on defense on our first map of Theme Park. So if we are going to see that momentum going forward, it's going to be Paragon that's going to need to hold it and need to lash on it really, really tightly, because Skittle.JPEG are a team that does not want to let them run away with it for sure, especially not if you look at their tweets. So, yeah, indeed, I do like to see Theme Park, and I'm really interested to see who is going to be able to either take the momentum with them into their next defensive half, or excuse me, their next map half, or be able to flip it all the way on their head.
For one other point that we had come up earlier with looking at the statistics, I think having those confident entries that, as, you know, maybe more of a support, more of a flank role within your team, you can kind of lean on them extra and know that you'll be able to count on them. I feel like that's going to help as far as Coastline and Theme Park are concerned. We're about ready to jump into the first map here for the quarterfinals. Boy, am I excited. Let's jump on over to Theme Park. Paragon favored by 20% in the community predictions, but that might not be the full story.
No, I don't think it is either. Paragon, from what I've seen on their social media and just in general their fan base, it's very, very, it's a diehard. They have a very diehard fan base, and they've definitely voted on that poll. But looking to our first band, the Thatcher band coming out, I'd say that's quite standard. What is your take on it?
Thatcher? Yeah, I feel like Thatcher is common on so many maps, but you have to be very careful which hard breach or hard breach adjacent operators you remove, because if you take out too many, we've already established that attacking is such a pain in the rear. If you make that more difficult by removing Thatcher, who almost serves as your easy button to remove sort of the anti-breach utility, that could be a real daunting prospect. And now here's something to look a little bit more into. On one hand, we have the Jackal banned out, making it a little bit more difficult for the attackers to actively go for a roam clear. But also, in a similar stance, we have Mute being removed to deny drones. And so with him off, the attackers, they're going to be able to move and gather intel a little bit more fluidly. I wonder what the dynamic is going on there for those two.
Yeah, it's an interesting ban indeed. We did see a Jackal ban yesterday in the map between Last Resort and Arctic. We did see that did boost the roam play a lot. Of course, Jackal being the king of roam clearing. You just need to get one of those footprints, and then boom, bippity boppity, there's the ping on your map, and for your whole team, no less. So yeah, it's an interesting ban. This could show that maybe we're going to see more of a roam-heavy gameplay today.
I would certainly hope so. As far as Theme Park is concerned, when we're looking at sort of a lot of the defensive setups, there is very commonly either extensions horizontal when you're holding on initiation and office. For example, a lot of times we'll see sort of a roam concern be developed inside of the bunk or daycare area, because you can't allow the attackers to take that early foothold. I feel like where Coastline is concerned, it's about making that first step correctly. For the defense on Theme Park, it's about denying that first step altogether. And if Paragon can get that going, if they can push Skittle out of these rounds early, that'll be the gateway to securing success on the first half where the defense is being seen. However, if Skittle.JPEG come into this and they have an understanding about that with the operator bans, if they're able to sort of persevere even beyond having those vetoed, I think they're going to set themselves up. What we're looking for is, as far as the splits go for Theme Park, I feel like the general idea is 2 to 4 or 1 to 5 in favor of the defense. And the reason why I bring 1 to 5 into the question is because that's sort of foreign. You know, when you're looking at other maps, you would never chalk that up to round economics. That would just be one team is getting completely blown out. But I've had a lot of casts where one team, it looks like they don't know what they're doing on attack, but as soon as they get over towards the defense, they completely turn it around.
Indeed, I think this is indeed a map that you would lose on your defensive side. If you can't get at least, like you said, 4 rounds on your defense, it's going to be a tough attacking side for you. But let's see if Paragon are up to the task for it. We see their first site is now going to be Armory, holding a quite default site, at least for me in my rank experience. I've held Armory a lot of times. And let's see just how Skittle.JPEG is going to attack this. They're starting with the top floor clear. At least that's what this Ash is trying to do. But the drone's being denied by the Muzzy of Kaz.
Always the game that you have to be careful of. You lose too many drones early in the round trying to counter a vertical extension, and you lose out on the opportunity later in the game to go for the bomb site and try to find out where some of those defender positions are. Already the Maverick goes down. Losing one large part of your hard breach is not the way that you want to kick this round off, and so your ace, he's now going to have to fulfill much more of a larger role. You have an Electro Claw protecting the east wall, heading from the back of Throne into maintenance, so the hard breaching process, it's going to be difficult. Frag grenades in the hand of the Iana will be that primary way of trying to clear the Electro Claws. However, with Jaeger's ADS on the other side, likely that's going to be stalled just a little bit. And speaking of the Jaeger, Tab still managed to flank up from Dragon, denying any hopes of Infurious to try and get that long angle through the door. Finally, the attackers, they managed to open this one back up, but Jaeger, oh, here he comes, a double kill for Taps. The attackers being forced off of their footing, knocked down into the east side of maintenance.
Taps following up with another one, getting a triple on his name, and now is in a kerfuffle with Jinx, as Jinx does manage to miss his shots just barely, leaving Taps with 25 HP to work with, being able to escape that just barely, but 40 seconds remain now for the lone attacker of Jinx onto Zofia. He does not have the diffuser on him, and he has four whole defenders to make his way through, and not to mention the smoke with the still has his full array of smoke canisters. One is going to be deployed. That's one less he needs to worry about later on, but he still has a gargantuous task upon him. 20 seconds now. Time is running out. We're nearing 000. It's looking like a real undoable task, and Kaz is going to show just that as he kills Jinx. And that's the first round to the defense of Paragon.
About as much as you could predict for the first round, and a basement, or rather first floor armory defense, and, well, it's a win. You don't really get much more typical theme park than that. I think Skittle.JPEG could have done a little bit better in terms of the skirmishing. A lot of individual fights. They were unaware of presence for Paragon, and that led them down a dark road. They weren't able to take what I would call kind of competent control of top Dragon, and they never denied Paragon from moving back in. We saw the Jaeger. What did he do? He just kind of bot-walked past the top of the staircase, and Iana was there for him. He gunned down her, and he was never forced off of that. It's so difficult to fight when you don't have the vertical advantage against one player that's on staircase. Like the Jaeger. What was he doing? He was going down, back and forth, strafing, and jumping up and down, essentially, preventing any solid engagement there for Joker, and that left him in a position where it's so frustrating to try and fight a player that is moving like that. I don't totally blame Skittle for that round, but they have to make sure that they're on top of the intel game, because that's where you're going to win things when we're on Theme Park Attack.
Indeed, and the intel game is made difficult for them last round with the Mozzie, but that's not going to be the case this time around. The Mozzie has been swapped out for the Goyo, so if they want to see things like you want to see it with more intel gathering, that's going to be possible this time around. At least less things in their way. And we do know that Skittle.JPEG have those fraggers on them of Joker and Jinx. They have such high KDs, so it's only, I think, a matter of time before Skittle.JPEG and their fraggers just wake up and maybe even get a few rounds on the board.
Gotta step up, especially here on Theme Park. You lose the momentum early, and it's hard to wrench it back. And so those fraggers, the star players, you're always watching them, keeping a keen eye to see what they can make happen. For this next site rotation, we have a very default extended hold. A lot of openings created, rotates in position. Barbed wire, as we'll see here. Now as Zoe moves her drone on past. Skittle.JPEG have managed to open up the console, or rather the... Oh, I totally just blanked it on the call out there for the control room. That's it. They've got the hatch open for control room, trying to get their first steps made inside of the building, but as we already know, Bailey's got Goyo shields to stand in the way. So there's not going to be gunfights that are guaranteed to go 50-50. Paragon, they're looking to claim the advantage at every step of the way, and it's a smart idea.
Indeed, as 1 minute has now been passed, we have control of cash, at least Skittle.JPEG does, and the Ash of Joker is now going to hit some barbed wire, make his presence known at least to the defenders of Paragon, as now notice Zofia's going to take the peek, but he loses, no, he wins it against Dilly, and that's the first entry kill on the side of Skittle.JPEG. The attackers now have the upper hand, at least man count wise, and still a lot of time to work with. So we do work in taps here with the bullet hole peek. Could be big, but he gets droned out and gets pre-fire, but no damage taken on his side. 1 minute 30. Oh, Joker with a beautiful shot through the wall. Gets him and takes the Jaeger out of the equation. Casts another one and falls to Joker as well. It's a 5v2. This round looks very much in Skittle.JPEG's hands.
It's a real bleak existence here for Paragon. Bailey, he'll tease the angle back and forth against the AK-12 as members of Skittle.JPEG surround him from all sides. The wall between China and Control Room not yet open. A few glancing blows. So many members on low HP. Out of bullets, but he'll still manage to hit one. The Vector goes big. Bailey, he holds him off. 50 seconds to go. Maverick is next up, trying to go pound for pound against the Goya, who dances angle to angle back behind the pillar. He'll go down. Joker's third. Milo forced to run in between multiple battles once more. Stokaj choking on that toxic canister. It won't stop him though. The smoke rounds the corner and Skittle.JPEG earned their response. The fraggers, they went big.
Indeed, as I have predicted, they got two amazing fraggers, especially Joker there with the amazing double kill, which you definitely see in the replay here. Taps falling to his demise first, and after that, I think it was the Malusi of Kaz, showing just what they're made of. But this shot here at the end, oh my, what a shot from Bailey with his very last bullet on his Vector. Tried to delay it, he had the diffuser on him, but he just could not hold four guns on the side of Skittle.JPEG, and at the end, I think it all came down to those two big entry frags.
Yeah, they pushed Paragon off of anywhere that they had tried to hold. Two players going down through the opening at the top of the yellow stairs. I don't think aggressing so much for Paragon right there was entirely the play. Perhaps you rotate somebody out, play a shotgun close up there, and you would have a little bit more measure of success. If you're fighting the R4C, I mean, we all know what that's like. She's more likely to win gunfights, shoots faster, hits harder. It's not an easy task to try and dance against her. And Joker had a great support from his teammates as well. The drone that went on through there, not only did it provide intel that allowed her to go for the wall bang, just completely spraying wildly through the wall, but it also served as a constant distraction, and I think that can't be highlighted enough. For Skittle.JPEG, who didn't play great surrounding the intel in the first round, number 2 was a ranked success.
Indeed, that's indeed true. But moving back into Bunk, let's see if Paragon can make the changes they need to make to hold away and keep Skittle.JPEG to just running through cache and back into office like they did the round before. The lineup has not changed at all, but I hope that their positioning will, as that is what caused them their downfall last time. There's Full Peak coming out, not successful on either end, no loss of HP, just some bullets wasted, and some bullets that they will definitely not miss. But that's an interesting start to round number 3.
Paragon, I'm hoping that they're able to hold on to this extension towards the east for a little while longer. The Bandit, though, Dilly is looking for an early contest as he sees the door break on open. He hears the shots connect for the Maverick and now seems to be a little bit worried about the rappel. Obviously, we already know Zophia's outside the window. The Hilly, he continues to try and contest this. Nitro in hand, no opening in the barricade. Stokaj, he's well out of that angle of damage. Having retreated back, one piece of explosive utility wasted. Still another Nitro in the pocket of Bailey with a further set of impacts remaining for Kaz. However, in this round, seems like Skittle.JPEG kind of have been forced back just a little bit more. Paragon are holding actively. They're preventing them from seizing this control of the map, so we're going to look again to watch Joker to see if he's able to make that confident entry, or Paragon's utility Bolden setup is going to be too much of a problem to overcome. Teasing the angle yet again. The Bandit's still eager to sit here close at the double wall inside of office, but not aggressive enough to overexpose himself and to give Skittle the man advantage.
A lot of time wasted by Paragon here. Very well, but Stockhatch gets the kill, and Joker finds another one with the help of the Goyo shoot from Bailey, and that's 2 opening kills that you have on your side. Very, very well played here from Skittle.JPEG. But now the collapse on the site needs to come. We still have 1 minute and 30 to work with, so quite a lot of time. And Joker finds yet another double kill. That's Bailey off the board. Now it's all down to Milo and Taps. The smoke and the Jaeger. The smoke has the smoke counters, and the Jaeger going to be right around the corner from Stockhatch, and he wins that. Taps wins gunfight number 1, but has so many more to fight. Joker's on the other side of the wall. Let's see if he can hold out. But Milo is just here. Joker finds a triple on his name now. It's all up to Milo in a 4v1. Actually, a 3v1 as the Joker is down. But Jinx finishes it off with a headshot on the Milo. And that's an attacker's winning another round. 2-1 for Skittles.JPEG.
Bunk and Daycare, a route so far 2 in a row, and it seems like Skittle.JPEG have kind of got this down to a science. This is an important, crucial crux in the round, where the Hilly goes down and Kaz dies to the destructed Goyo Vulcan shield inside meeting. With that gone, all of your positions are essentially beginning to crumble. The attackers, they've got control of waiting room, they have office, and they have everything that they really need to pressure onto the site. I think we're starting to see Paragon, once they lose their extension, they get a little bit too jittery, and that can be a problem. I think holding control of yellow with a shotgun, if we see a retry a Bunk and Daycare, putting somebody with an M590 there, for example, your smoke would be much better served than somewhere else where he's having to fight a more distant angle. I get that you want to have those smoke canisters in, you know, a position where you can throw them optimally, but yellow stairs, if you deny them from taking control, you're forcing through either a singular the soda hall between waiting room, or you're forced to slow down and get the heart breaching done. I think that would benefit Paragon a lot more than what we've seen in these rounds so far.
We're moving into round number 4 now. We are going back to Armory, the round that Paragon was able to win last time, with the entry frag being oh so crucial. That was the entry frag from Paragon onto the Maverick of Skittle.JPEG. Inferior's now on the Maverick. He has 0 kills on his name. Let's see if he can make a difference and stay alive. It's a little bit longer this time. I think that is really what swayed the round into Paragon's side last time around. If they can keep their heart breach on and alive for just a bit longer, this could be a very, very different round from last time.
Making sure that you keep that hard breach, always something good, especially in the game of Theme Park. Also something to monitor is Skittle.JPEG and how they address Paragon's roam. Caps is eager here at the arcade window. Maverick and Furious on the other end, he can't be the one actively contesting that, though, as we've just established. Losing the Surrey Torch as well as the frag grenades is not something that you want to have to react to so early in the beginning stages of this round. Maverick makes the right decision. He jumps onto the drone, but Dehilly successful so far as he shoots off the head of Stokaj, removing your Zofia. The hard breach reserve still up and running, but a question begins to seed in my mind. Will Skittle ever get to the stage of going for the hard breach with how involved they are in clearing this roam currently?
1 minute and 10 seconds have been wasted on the side of Paragon Esports. Very well played here by the 2 roamers upstairs of Taps, and I'm not quite sure the second one is, but they're doing a great job delaying them here. Dilly's going to take the gunfight. He sees the head of the Maverick, but unable to hit it, but he hits the one of Whippet. Not Whippet, excuse the caster. He hits the head of Ace, immediately getting the first kill there, but 2 angles he can't contest at the same time, and that's Inferior taking the kill. The Maverick getting a kill on his name, but we're still nowhere near the breach. Taps and Joker get one of their own, and Jinx follows it up with another one. Is it 2v2? Could this be a round won by frags?
You have to ask. To have finally cleared the roam with about 2 minutes wasted, and after losing Stokaj, your trusty second entry, and both of your hard breach, is this really a success, or was this worth it at all for Skittle? You have to react to this now, and luckily Joker's alive. I think watching him as the playmaker is going to be the biggest thing here, as well as what use Jinx can make of his remaining utility to try and go for the vertical. In a 2-on-2, it's certainly capable, but the question here is, we already know there's no more hard breach, so you're going to have to choose either Split or Dragon. Right now, it looks like maybe Split is being considered. Jinx moves down to the bottom of the yellow stairs as the Ash readjusts to come up from the drug side. Milo, 2 gas canisters, an SMG-11 to contest the long angle. Another gas canister is sent. The frag grenade, not timed well enough to have removed it. Bailey's got support as well. Not only a nitro, but also a deployable shield in front of him. They're going to have to rush on through. Here goes the Ash. Joker, he manages to get Milo. A huge frag. The Ash down. Bailey, they obviously know he's back here. Surely they would. Jinx challenges on forward. The Cade, he does not need to move. He gives it away. That Skittle.JPEG, they had no business winning that round.
As you said, this was Skittle.JPEG's round to win and Paragon's to lose, and oh my, I think I have to put it down. At the end there, that 2v2 situation, that, sorry to say, a bit of a whiff there from the kid at the end. Unable to kill the Ash in time before before he killed the smoke, and that just ended it. Jinx, in a 1v1 situation, has the upper hand with a better gun, a better optic. Everything was in his favor. I think he even had enough HP to get that gunfight, and he won it. And that was the round now in Skittle.JPEG's favor. We are looking at a really, really weird split here. You said 4-2, right? But I think you meant the defensive half.
Yeah, this is certainly not my expectation, but Skittle are playing well. You know, for the rounds 2 and 3, I don't think that was really something you could chalk up to the, you know, kind of inadequate play of Paragon. I can't say the same for round number 4. They wasted so much time on the rope. You have to give, you know, props to what we saw coming out of Dihilly and Taps. They got each a multi-kill. They were bouncing from angle to angle, sort of creating an illusion that there was more manpower over here by Arcade and Bunk and Daycare than there really was. And all of that just to give it away?
10 seconds to go.
Yeah. That's just unfortunate on the side of Paragon. I hope that this is definitely a tilter of a round, I've got to say. It's going to be a round that's going to be in their head like, oh man, we did everything so right up until all the kills came in and it was a 2v2. We just had to hold it. The smokes, they had enough smokes to block out the time. He had 3 smokes at 30 seconds. It's just, oh man, it's going to be a round that could be in Paragon's head for a while here. And I really hope it won't, because the last thing they need right now is that negative momentum being in their head. What they need right now is a momentum reset and being able to just re-grasp their grip on this game. They need to be able to bounce back from this 2-round losses and see if they can get another round in their favor, or else it might be game over really, really soon here.
Again, the issue of the roam. Taps. Persevere is waiting close at the half wall. They'll shoot a drone. The intel is here. Zofia dodges back and forth at the angle. Excellent play by Stokaj there to collect the opener. Eliminates the Jaeger, and so Paragon a little bit more weary. Now reacting by shuffling away from the east side and playing a little bit more reserved. For this, what is this, the third round of Armory? Again, the hard breach to die with Y going off the board. He was... And I have to say, you're probably going to die by a nitro if you're not prepared for it there. You have an audio cue available, unless Bailey managed to play that where he just had his nitro in hand the whole time. Everyone from Paragon begins to sort of cluster back up towards the objective. Joker shoots open the top of the wall, and Furious prepares to create an opening. He's going to get a frag grenade in there, though we still have the issue of Taps' ADS. Are they in position? It won't matter. We'll have plenty of utility being sent in here to waste the ADS. And Nitro breaks both of the bandit batteries. This should mean that you're able to get the wall done. And Bailey goes DBNO too. Another Nitro sent on over. Shot out of mid-air. Good great game sense there by Infurious and excellent timing. You removed the hard breach, but luckily Bailey is back in time to hopefully get this and stop it from happening. Your Maverick, he's going to have to play a difficult game though, Yannick. We all know how vulnerable you are with that Surrey torch in hand.
It's not a fun position to be in, and here you go. He starts working his way, and he does miss a couple of pixels there. Oh, let's hope we can get this open for the side of Skittle.JPEG. If he can't, it's going to be a big round changer. But on the other side of things, you see that Kaz is going to take the peek here. This is why this Mavericking is so dangerous. But he's successful. The wall is open and 30 seconds remain. But Dilly gets on the Joker, and that's your Ash off the board. Your main frag with 8 kills on his name is now nullified. And 4v3 as 20 seconds remain. We'll see just how this all going to play out right now. Dilly is on the flank. This could be huge. But no, Stockhat's waiting there, prone. And 15 seconds remain. Kaz going to be ready. No, he isn't, as Jinx wins that gunfight. What is he doing? Bailey wins one, loses one as well. And now to Miller to smoke with an SMG-11 in hand. It's not the best gun in this situation, but he needs to make do. Japan is going down. Jinx has got it down now. And the post-plan situation, he's not at a best favorite position. And Infurious so is just why. There we go. Skittle.JPEG with yet another round on the board.
You hate to see it. Poor Millo, his own shield working against him there and allowing Skittle to provide the perfect coverage. For the question of which side matters, I'm not sure if it really does anymore. Seeing as we're at 4-1, this seems like Skittle just a little bit more prepped to play on their map choice of Theme Park, and quite a daunting future ahead. If there's one side that you're going to perform well on for the hopes of Paragon here on the first map in the quarterfinals, it's going to be the defensive side of Theme Park, who have only claimed a single round, going now into number 6, where it looks like Skittle have all the momentum in their bleachers. This one seems like it could be shaping up for a rather fast start.
Yeah, we were talking about liking to see overtime as casters, but looking at this, Paragon either needs to step it up right now. They need to like win every single round from now on until it's either a 4-4 or they can take the lead. Otherwise, this is going to be done really, really quickly. As you said, it's going to be a quick match on our hands, but only time will tell, as Paragon is now going to their last defensive site. They're going to go to Initiation, a site we haven't seen today just yet, the first time we're going here. Let's hope that Skittle.JPEG, or at least for the side of Paragon, let's hope that Skittle.JPEG isn't prepared for this, but let's be honest, their strats ready, and they seem to know what they're doing. And I think this might be yet another Skittle.JPEG, but let's not put Paragon out of the scores just yet.
Yeah, it's never over until it's over, and, you know, Paragon perhaps at the end of the first half, maybe they're just an attacking team on Theme Park. I don't know if I've ever seen an attacking-only team on Theme Park before, but, you know, having my second only EU cast, perhaps I am a fool, and this is the new meta that's begun to develop here in the absence of Theme Park now as it begins to step ever closer to exiting the pool. We have the Maestro, or rather, I don't know where Maestro came from. We have the Goyle being brought again by Paragon. They've loved to bring the Vulcan shields into play as kind of an additional layer of protection to stop you from being at risk immediately to the, I would say, good guns on Skittle.JPEG. We all know how they've been playing so far, living up to the stat lines, but statistics aren't everything. If Paragon can deny them entrance here, that would be big. And so far, this push is entirely comprised of an eastward effort. I'm not sure if I would suggest that because of how reliant this attack is on earning that opening frag. If you don't get this double wall open, there could be large problems here in the future of the round.
As Jaeger ADS is eating a lot of utility from the Zofia, but there goes the Goyo shield. That's a bit of utility gone now on the side of Paragon. So that JPEG have started to dump their utility inside, but they're still stuck in cash with nothing much to do other than trying to get that wall open. Maverick is going to need to work his way onto that wall and start using his blowtorch, something we've seen last round, which is really, really vulnerable. You're not going to have a good time doing that just now. But Infurious gonna take the gunfight, but Joker gets an opening pick, and that's the opening pick you wanted to see.
That gives him so much leverage to work with here. For Joker, he doesn't get away completely scot-free, having already taken damage from the nitro efforts of Dilly earlier in the round. Toxic Canister begins to eat away at plenty of the HP. And Furious knows the danger of the position he's in with openings made in the wall. It presents a long angle opportunity for Bailey. However, charging forward, the head ripped off from Millo, complete site control inside the office. All of a sudden, Paragon on the back foot and needing a Herculean effort. We'll see that come in the form of Kaz. He taps off the head of Stokaj. Jinx there in the perfect response, though, as he removes Bailey. For Melusi now, she's stuck in quite the difficult pinch. Maverick, he steps closer and closer, tries to go for the knife. Kaz, what are you doing? Get your head in the game. The plant is down. The Maverick completely haphazardly rounds the corner, but the Ace has got coverage to save his teammate. A 5-1 attacker half. My.
Yeah, we were talking about a 5-1 split, but like I said 2 rounds earlier, we expected this to go the complete other way. We expected, or at least for a good defensive half, you would expect Paragon to be able to take this 5-1 in their favor. But now they're stuck with quite the effort and quite the task upon their hands to be able to switch this around, flip this all the way around, to a draw and maybe something more, but just going to have to see how their attacking half will go. Their first attacking half is going to be on Armory Throne Room. And let's see, Skittle.JPEG, they did well on attack. Let's see what they have on defense.
This is definitely going to be a weird one to talk about. With the Jackal and the Mute ban, it has such a weird effect on the realm. And I think ultimately that could benefit Skittle. You don't have the Jackal or his Inox, and so actively clearing the roamers is a real challenge. With Infurious bringing the Vigil, if you can't use the Inox to track him and you can't see him with a drone, Yannick, how are you going to clear this man? You can't see him. You're not going to be able to detect him, and you're going to be on a real difficult balancing scale to try and take him out. If they play this well with Jinx on the Mozzie and have maybe Joker support him as well, Joker's 9-3. Joker can't be bested in a gunfight so far, has been racking up frags, and if as long as he's in a confident position that he feels he can hold, I don't know what success Paragon could be looking at as far as round 7's considered. We have Dilly playing on the Nomad, which I think is their one saving grace. Jinx is just flying out the door, perhaps searching for a drone. That would be bad considering the situation that we're at for Paragon, but as you can see by the new utility counter in the top right, Paragon still sitting at a full 10.
Yeah, 10 drones on the side of Paragon. Interesting here. Skittle.JPEG, as you mentioned, the Mozzie and the Vigil is going to be an interesting combination, especially, yeah, with Joker on the roam. But Infurious here is going to be sitting on quite the aggro position on Dragon Stairs as the top of it, and there's the first drone gone on the side of Paragon Esports. Jinx also on 8 kills. They all the guns, most of the guns at least, in Skittle.JPEG have come alive. Stockhatch, Joker, and Jinx all have quite the number of frags upon their hands, so let's see how they can use it on their defensive half. Paragon with a slow start here is just taking control of Cash, and, well, I still have 2 minutes to go, so a lot of time to work with.
A lot of time to work with, but it can get lower and lower in the snap of your fingers, and it's not always something you're conscious of as the attacker's on theme. Jinx will be an important player to watch as he sits close at the doorway. He's got a Mozzie Pest, as you can see, just on the right side of the threshold to try and prevent him from being droned out. Paragon, their intel resources have been whittled away somewhat, with Milo losing both of his drones. For your hard breach to lose your drones, that's not great, because it's going to take one of your fraggers out of the equation. Meanwhile, will they focus on trying to get some more of this intel? Huge Nitro flies on over. Dilly's out of the question. Nomad eliminated. Nearly a second one erupts above, opening a hole in the control room. Now Paragon, their attention is divided. Jinx, he still lies in wait here with Infurious roaming around. I would chalk this one up to an unsuccessful roam clear for Paragon, and it didn't really ever develop into a roam clear. Luckily, utility on the wall has been cleared, and Milo, he'll use the Selmas to create this opening. Bandit Trick is good for the north panel. The second one, however, and that key avenue to getting behind the throne is still an opportunity in the eyes of the Paragon assault.
Taps, meanwhile, has made his way to the Dragon door. Could provide some pressure, but there's still these two roamers upstairs. He's gonna meet one here if he's not careful. The Vigil. Oh, but a shot through the wall gets rid of Taps, and Stockhatch gets one on the Milo. And that's 2 defensive kills now in a row. Bailey, and it's gonna be all alone here as Joker finds another one. He finds the head of the Bandit, but not another one, as Infurious is gonna be swinging the corner. And that's round number 7 in the hands of Skittle.JPEG, and they are on match point.
From a tough start in the first split on that Armory round where Skittle got off to a bit of a rough start, they have completely swept around the Grim Reapers of Theme Park. Now 6 rounds uninterrupted. It seems Paragon's response lives in the past. Hopefully for this next round, a defense of Bunk and Daycare, they can bring something with a little bit more substance, and I would certainly hope so. Otherwise, we're looking at the first map, Skittle.JPEG's pick being a complete and utter blowout. And in a best of 3, you've got to be able to hang on. We all know how difficult it can be and how demoralizing there is a possibility of this map being if you can't manage to secure more than 1 round. Imagine that. It's Theme Park. You started on the defense, and you only got 1 round period through the whole map.
Paragon need to win 5 in a row, and that doesn't even secure them any kind of victory. That just evens it up and puts us into an OT situation. Paragon, they need to step it up. They need to step it up, and when they do that, they have to do it now. It's no chance for them to hang around and just they don't have any chance of a mistake anymore. Skittle.JPEG, as you said, they have the momentum on their side and they're using it well. I hope if Paragon does get this back, I mean, the chances are slim. So I don't want to be that guy that is very pessimist and is going to talk about the next map, but I think that's very well on the cards. I think we could see Paragon losing this map.
You know, it's really something that we can't really dance around anymore because of what this is telling us so far. I think Paragon, you know, this is a no-brainer, but this is a must-win round. The previous round, it was also a must-win, but they came up short, and because of their unfortunate showing on the first half, they did not leave themselves a huge buffer or any sort of a safety net. With everyone firing on all cylinders, Joker has achieved double digits in the space of 7 rounds. It's very rare that you see that, and Stokaj just gets his head ripped off. Luckily, a response by Joker in support of his teammate. The Cade, perhaps a little bit too aggressive for that play, but his teammates have an excellent recovery. As we'll see why, just rip the head off of another player. He'll add an NT. Nice try, just a little bit more salt rubbed into that wound. Bailey will try to charge on through, but difficulties addressing Joker, who still sits at the corner box. Kaz will try to go below, perhaps looking for an opportunity to, but Infurious provides safety for his team in denying any possibility of Kaz pushing up the arcade stairs. The Smoke can continue to watch only one angle because he knows his teammate was there. Infurious will double back off of it, and it looks like Kaz might have a little shred of intel on the Melusi by the way that he readjusts himself. Paragon, their west side push has not worked, and as such, they will reorient themselves to a cash balcony take.
Infurious is on the Dragon balcony here, holding quite the aggressive push, but Jinx with a shot, and Infurious with one more, and it's all down to Kaz. He has 2 kills on his name, and he's going to need to double that, and even more so. Does he want to get this round? He needs to triple that, and he just decides, well, I've got no chance. This map is done, this round is done, and he decides to take his own life, sadly. I don't like to see it. I definitely do not like to say it, but that is the map in Skittle.JPEG's favor. We are 1-0 now, and in what a fashion did they do it?
Yeah, a good half. I mean, that's about as much as you can say for this one. It's Skittle.JPEG's map, and they showed why, you know, Theme Park is the place to go. For Paragon, I have to kind of bail them out a little bit. Nobody's practicing Theme Park realistically anymore. It's about to go out of the map pool, and so there's just no benefit to scrimming it, to bringing new strats onto the table. And so, you know, I think there's kind of a tiny get out of jail free card for this first map, and I'm hoping that they can pick it up on the second map, is a sentiment that some have started to bring. And I mean, Coastline has got to have something in it for this map to be just mind-blowing. This really sets up a series to look thrilling.
Yeah, indeed, and I don't want to be that guy that's very talks negative and talks Paragon down, but we have seen Skittle.JPEG frag. 3 of their players had a very high KD. It's going to pull up the scoreboard here. Our lovely producer Senate. Jinx had 9, Joker had 11, and Stockhatch had another 7. And Coastline is a frag-heavy map. It's a map where gun skill dominates, and if you can win your gunfights, I think you can win Coastline. So I don't know. I like I said, I don't want to put Paragon out of the game just yet, but it's looking very, very grim for them.
Yeah, let's hope that that second map can kind of give us a little bit more of a break from what we've seen so far and serve to be an equalizer. Perhaps we'll see each of these maps be completely favored to the team that chose them, and heading to Cafe, that'll serve as the one equalizer, the one map that perhaps is a little bit more even. We've got the second map here in the quarterfinals ahead of us. Coastline up next, just after the break.
Hello there. I'm Jerry the Music Man, Yukon caster, ECS owner, ECS staff match winner ×2. And I'm here to tell you today, in my dressing gown, that this is it.
This is the final stage of the Elite Championship Series 2021 winter season.
After an intense league season, the top bracketed teams from our open contenders and major division will be battling it out for a total prize pool.
€800.
800 euros.
And being crowned ECS Winter 2021 champions.
It won't be easy.
In past matches, we have seen major teams fall to the likes of Open Team.
Hang on, I need to change this bit. Up to it won't be easy. All that is good.
Only time will tell who our champions will be.
The final stage of the league is made up of a simple elimination bracket.
2 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals, a losers final, and then the game everybody has been waiting for.
The staff show match.
Cut there. Start getting in.
I mean the grand finals.
Across stage 1 and 2, we've seen the mighty Paragon and the Last Resort, both contenders teams, make their way through to the final stages to face the very best of the major division. You can cut there. Why can't I get this one? Okay, another cut there. That was a bit awkward. I mean, it's all awkward, but I'll do it again.
See someone in the corner? No, he doesn't. Does he know of this? This could be huge, and he does get found. No, he doesn't. Bruno with the 180 as Azar gets one and Null gets.
Can maybe expand to, but Null's gonna be rotating. He does it. He catches 2. That's gonna be Monks and Kusik wiped off the board. That was a double, nearly a collat.
Off the defenders. So it could work well for the smoke. Dropping the hats. The attacker, Karyudo, getting a double, dropping into freezer, completely unaware. And he gets a quad in total.
It's an ace.
He gets the ace. Karyudo drops into
Even if he
freezer.
does so dynamic that even if they do manage to grab this diffuser, which they look like they're about to, does pick up 1 kill for himself and win, but Bill will set the diffuser down beneath that hatch. Ash now has to do double duty, trying to cover from the pinch, and she will do it perfectly! Kaz with the swing on both defenders.
There's go, but he's not going to spot the player by AK. No, Textrolo sneaks on in, and he's going to be able to get one of Choco. Can't find 3 as the Legion's going to walk on in, gets the yellow ping, but can't, or he's going to be able to get Frenzy. 2 more to go. He's going to be able to get it all. 1 more on Junior. Can he hold it out together?
So before that, Hazard left DBNO will finally be cleaned up as well, and just like that, TLR.
So, without further ado, fasten your seatbelts.
It's time to dance.
Ready your angled grips.
It's now or never.
Hold on to your hats.
Now let's head over to our desk. Jerry out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're heading into Coastline, the second map here in the second quarterfinals. Theme Park, a bit of a difficult start and a rocky performance for Paragon, heading to the lovely Iberian Peninsula. We're hoping that this second map can be a little bit something more for Paragon.
Yeah, Paragon need to step up right now. They've lost map number 1 in what I could only describe as a landslide for Skittle.JPEG, and if they can't win Coastline, they're out. This is their time. This is do or die for them, and it's they have nothing to lose, so go for it. This is the time where you need to show what you're worth.
Yeah, you've got to gather everyone in your team and say what went wrong in that first map, because the second one here, no more road left ahead of them if they can't manage to get up to winning here on the map. For the sake Paragon, they will begin on the first defense for this map, and I wonder what that effect will have. We talk about Coastline as kind of that frag-heavy map where the strats are very simple, very minimal, not much strategic depth, but you can't afford to lose your frags. And seeing how well Skittle played with the gun skill, always coming out on top in those frag duels, it does paint you a little bit of a picture. We're seconds away from jumping into Coastline, but Yannick, before we get there, what are your predictions?
Skittle on attack, and Coastline has been historically an attacker-sided map, and I think we talked about 4-2 splits, 5-1 splits, and you'd expect that on the attacking side, I think. If I am correct, you may correct me if I'm wrong, but Honestly, I think Skittle is going to be able to show their gun skill, and they may be able to show their full prowess this time around on Coastline.
Would certainly hope so. We have the operator vetoes ahead of us, and Ash being banned immediately by Paragon, you have to say that's a little bit of a target ban. Seeing the performance that we had go down from Joker earlier, I don't totally blame them for eliminating her, and well, I mean, it was just a complete slaughterhouse. Every time Skittle had the Ash, she was at the front of the stack, and she was eliminating everyone that got in her way. We'll have the Jackal as the second veto, finalizing all of our attacker bans, and the question that lingers in my mind, will we have the same mute ban that went down on Theme Park?
Yeah, that was an interesting ban indeed, and we'll see if that's going to happen this time around. I think it was Skittle that banned it. Nope, the Valkyrie coming out. Paragon still have a ban going for them, but Valkyrie is going to be quite an influential ban. No pesky black eye cameras around in the map anymore, so it's going to be a bit more at ease as the attacker when it comes to cameras and intel from the defender side.
Quite curiously, we'll have Paragon banning out the Warden as the final defender ban. That only makes me think that there could be a Ying on the cards once we get to Paragon's attack, and a little bit of commentary being dropped in the chat as well about what the validity of a Warden ban on Coastline might be, but Ying and her Candelas and the T95, that LMG, it goes burr at nearly the levels of the G8A1 on IQ or Amaru. I would always be scared to see one a defender might look like on the other side. We'll have the Caveira being brought initially by Paragon, a little bit of levity being introduced by Millo. I can only think that'll be a 6-pick.
Yep, and there goes Capcom being picked. No Caveira this time around, and Y is just confirming his Hibana ban. No, he's not. He's taking a Twitch. Thanks for making me say things that are untrue now. But the Twitch being picked, so Caveira is going to be off the board, which is probably a smart idea. I mean, she's competitively seen, not that good of an operator. Maybe a bit lower in the ranks, you could see her as a viable pick. But up in these levels of T4 in Europe, it's not going to be your standard pick, and maybe not even an off pick.
Yeah, especially for Coastline as well. Caveira, you're not thinking about roamers really all too much. When it comes down to Coastline, your roams aren't really roams. They're more of like extensions and lurks. You're seeing in a roam, the main composition is just one static position, kind of like a sort of a sequence. You know, you have sort of like your vigil, perhaps, if you're playing service, or for this interpretation, if we're looking at hookah, you might have a roamer once in a blue moon that hangs out sort of near the security or lobby area to contest an office push. Millo, testing his luck here, he'll go for the spawn peek, and right through the tiny ruins window will take a little bit of HP off of Stokaj. Dilly looking to double down as he walks out through the Aqua Bar double door, but not able to connect on any members. Spotting no one from Skittle so far, but the Nomad already having a lesson learned. Be careful of that big window. Oh, here we go again as well for Dilly. He gets his lesson learned as Jinx rips his head off. You can't be continuing to peek that window, but perhaps Millo didn't quite hear me. He continues to try and go for the peek, and Skittle.JPEG, you're not able to double down, but a 5v3 on the first round would be a real rocketing start.
Yeah, indeed, as Kaz here just holding off the push into Sona by just sitting there and being very, very obnoxious, I think, to the side of Skittle.JPEG. But, as you said, Dilly just went for that aggressive peek very late into the round and got found, but Tap's going to find one of his own, and that's we off the board. No more Twitch in play, and no more Twitch drones at your disposal. But this being Coastline, not much utility clearing with the Twitch can be done. Maybe some Capcom traps could have been taken off the map together with some default cams. I'm stumbling over my words. I'm just at a loss of words. Just give me a moment to recover. We do see a 4v4 now. 1 minute and 30 remaining. I'm just going to hand it off back to you. Let me regain my train of thought.
Capcan still lingers here. You've got Joker playing outside on the rappel. A double stack up for Skittle. They're looking for Aqua control as they progress further. Always need to be mindful of what exists over by luggage, especially with one outline of a player hiding below. That'll be Kaz. He creeps back up, but you can hear the beeping of the air jab. Prevents him from retaking control of luggage. Bailey having to battle back and forth with the player outside of the window, and Furious will lose his life. That's the Whitehall pressure. Stokaj in position to go for the defuse. Case in his possession. We'll see the rotate come around. Jinx still provides the coverage. Frag grenade in hand, being cooked and tossed out into the opening, captured by an ADS. Here comes the plant. Still trying to peek, dodging back and forward. Milo trying to hold this one off. Bailey, he manages to deny it in a second there for the Jaeger, immediately traded out. Here goes Joker looking for a big highlight play. 30 seconds to make his mark as he charges on forward, bouncing from angle to angle. He'll move his way through the rotate, but no intel. Still able to connect the shot somewhat. Joker pistol trying to get done with taps is wasting time excellently, and Kaz makes his move. Paragon Esports finally interrupt the streak of rounds accumulated by Skittle and work their way into a first round win on Coastline.
Some banter in the chat by Paragon. Interesting to see that. But yes, as you said, the first defensive round is a fact, and Paragon's first round on this map is a fact as well. Very good. They got the early man disadvantage with that peek from Infurious on the Vigil, but they crawled back from that. The plant was coming down from the plant was coming down from the Nomad and just could not be covered sufficiently, and that caused the whole round to kind of disintegrate at the end, putting Joker in a 1v3 situation, immediately trading out one, but 2 more to find was just too big of a task for him.
And I think the breaking point there in why the plant wasn't covered for Infurious was, for the Nomad in that round, was because the Iana, who was the primary horizontal coverage inside of Aqua, she got felled by Cats, who came up from White. And so you just didn't have somebody actively behind the planter ready to take that battle, and that's why Skittle.JPEG lost their hold. I think you have to make sure that you're always mindful of those flanks. We had an air jab placed on the luggage door, but perhaps the Iana's positioning in that round was so that it opened herself up to a sight line for the Mozzie. You need to be very careful. We already spoke earlier during the map banning phase about what the importance is of that first step on Coastline and how you go about navigating the opening mistake. For Paragon in that round, who had lost out early because of a spawn peek attempt, you have to think maybe that was a missed opportunity for Skittle.
3 spawn peaks on the side of Paragon. 4 spawn peaks on the side of Paragon. What are we seeing here? But none of them successful, and no HP lost on either side of the board. Just some pot shots being taken at each other. Quite interesting. It just shows the aggression of Paragon. They are ready to take this fight to Skittle.JPEG. They are not going to let this go as easily as they would like, as Skittle.JPEG would like to see. Infurious losing a massive amount of HP here in a gunfight with Bailey at the top of White Window. And I think if Bailey had his actual AR out, that would have been a totally different story.
Furious, he's still looking to contest it. Window Repel generally considered to be advantaged, and Jinx has some intel as well to try and double down on this. As soon as Bailey begins to feel pressured from the bathroom side, that could be the start of a few problems. Bailey was in a good spot to try and contest the bathroom drop. Joker, the opening death. Bailey still holds it down, stalwart inside of Theater. He'll back off just a little bit more. He feels Skittle as they move further in. Tailing off, it looks like he's maybe considered giving up the possibility of this realm, but still somewhat locked in. He'll move to the bullet hole angles. Really trying to hold this off as well as he can. Nitros go up from his teammates. We'll see him drop the angle. Oh my word for Bailey. He cannot be eliminated. Paragon so successful in their top floor hold, and the bodies they keep dropping. Kaz finds Stokaj now as Bailey finally eliminated, but still a 2 versus 4.
A mountain to climb for the side of Skittle.JPEG. Jinx and Wee, the 2 people left alive here. The nade's gonna drop down those little slits, and it does take some HP of Billy, but not enough to make him go even into DBNO, not even pushing him over that 50% threshold. The Vigil Marks is gonna go through on the drone, and that's gonna alert at least the side of Skittle.JPEG that there is someone around near them, and they might not know it's below them. Milo does get the down, but not outstage on Wee, but that's not going to be confirmed, as I don't think the default cam is going to be up this late in the round. And yeah, in competitive siege, you don't have points. Jinx goes for the repeat, and that's Wee off the board, but now it's a 1v4, and he's just going to throw a nade, and Taps gets one on the Jinx, and that's the headshot pistol, giving Paragon Esports round number 2. Paragon are looking on top to win this defensive half right now.
And Paragon starting to return the favor, giving Skittle a little bit of their own medicine, as we saw the chat was active in their column earlier on Theme Park, and they had the round wins to back up all of their chatter. Not the same on this map, however. Paragon mounting their comeback. Finally, we'll see the Ying shown, but I imagine if you're going to show the Ying, it would be 6 picked away from. Yeah, we'll have Stokaj jump off of it. You won't bring Ying in her first showing as the operator just purely shown, because you want to hide the fact. You don't want to allow the possibility for Paragon, for example, to, you know, bring something that could be more successful against the Candelas, like a Wamai or a Jaeger. They have both of them here, but Skittle, they don't bring the Ying just yet.
No, that might be a good decision, as Paragon did ban the just count here his name, Warden. The bit banned the Warden out on their defensive ban, but the Maestro and the blue bar hole is going to be upon us now, as round number 3 is officially started. 20 seconds remain with the prep phase. We're gonna just interested to see how this hole is all going to partake. It seems to be an extension of the kitchen. They're reinforcing all of that over there near service and the bathroom. Interested to see how this hole is going to be. I haven't seen many blue bar holes as of late, so can you maybe enlighten me how a good blue bar hole would work and look like?
You're always almost going to see the kitchen extension. It's more the question about how developed the extension is and whether or not you have a mirror being brought here. No mirror being introduced, even despite the rare occurrence of her actually being let slip through. Joker taking a little bit of damage. Skittle have to get wise eventually to the reality that Paragon are going to keep spawn peeking. I almost want to say maybe this is diving in too deep, but Paragon's attempt to spawn peek in every round is some aspect of a mental game. They want to show Skittle that the map control is theirs. The control of the series is starting to move into their favor a little bit more, and they want to deliver that message by going for the spawn peaks. Joker, he's not taken below 50, but we're seeing with the Ash ban, the Twitch come to fill those shoes, to be the primary entry with the F2 because your R4C is eliminated.
He's having a tough time with it as well. Only 1 kill, but he's going to double that, make it 2, as he does get Bailey, and he just shows that even without the Ash, he can still get a frag. But as I was going to say, not as much as in last game, where he did have a total of 11 kills in 9 rounds played. So, yeah, the Ash ban might be impacting Joker a bit harder than he'd like to admit himself. But, so you have the half of the round now gone. We have top floor control, and Paragon is still just in the chat, playing that mental game, a different kind of mental game now. Just a bit of showing their emotions there in the chat.
Vertical play begins for Skittle, opening up all of the sight lines, but Paragon mostly playing away from the site itself. Smart idea. Milo, he'll try and tempt it, but you're not going to win that one fairly often, and Furious will dodge back and forth between the angles. Taps trying to take control of 90. He'll break the drone. Skittle, if they're aware of this, could be an opportunity to move themselves into a 5-on-2. Air jab detonates. He's so exposed. The swing could come. Too slow for Skittle. They move in, obviously aware of the intel now. This presents an opportunity. Knowing that the Wamai is nearby at 90, you could immediately flood the site and use your 5 men up to just constitute a massive site composure. Here goes Stokaj. He moves on through. Kaz is done for. Dilly lost 2. Now it's just Taps. Already 2-0, yet to die. In a 1v5, it's a real challenge. He'll move across the angle. He does not check close. We'll have a jump out right over the wall into the courtyard. Wee goes down. The plant might be soon as well, but in Furious, he shoots his teammate. What are you doing? That could be the mistake that allows this to become a winnable. Dropping the hatch, frag grenade, red indicator. Jinx will follow it up. The SMG-11, and I'm just puzzled. The TK, why?
Yeah, that team kill caught me off guard as well, as much as it did you, but nonetheless, Skittle.JPEG was able to hold that round firmly in their hands. It was a 1v5 at the end there. and the Wamai had quite the task upon him. He was unable to make it successful, but then again, who really expects someone to win a 1v5? It's not a fun situation. Every got 4 pairs of eyes looking at you. It's not fun. But first round now in the side of Skittle.JPEG, as we do see them win the tertiary bomb site. We're heading back to hookah and billiards. Paragon going back to a site which they won the first time.
Will history repeat itself, or will we see a different result on the Hookah Lounge objective? The main point that went wrong here last time was a lack of control for Skittle on the east side of the map, but you don't necessarily have to have that control. You just need to be aware that if you're not actively going to take it, it's open for the defense. And so for Skittle, I think I would recommend to go for a complete east side take. Last time they went up to the hookah balcony, and I don't think that's really valuable. We don't see any effectiveness, really, of a hookah balcony take. Once in a blue moon, we will see, like, one player that sits out on the balcony to provide cross coverage so you can't flank or you can't, rotate out. It only really serves as a distraction, though. It's not the real element of your play.
We does spot the peak of Dilly here on the top of White Window, but see just how much of that is going to be used, how successful that peak is going to be. It's not going to be, as we takes a safe route and goes the other side of the map as he's just stuck there. It's seemingly confused. Oh, he's holding the big window. Oh, he sees the Malusius there, and Jinx finds on a Millo, and that's the opening frag for Skittle.JPEG. Paragon now, I think their spawn piece are kindly coming around to bite them in the rear, but just see how much that's going to influence the round. You were talking about how Coastline was the map where your first actions are the one that count, and could this be an action, the kill from Skittle.JPEG, that could make them draw it back up?
Be a real possibility. Kaz so low on HP as he tries to make a few shots onto the opening there at the wall. Dilly responds for the loss of his teammate. I'm battering so much. A second one here. He's going crazy with the Roni. He'll try to launch a Nitro out, but second thoughts there. Not wasting the utility or wanting to commit to it just yet. Kaz, low HP. He's being followed, it looked like. Had some effects of the Logic Bomb from Dokkaebi, but no one actively chasing him below. Just holding by proxy. Stokaj still waits. Frag grenade in the hand. The Mozzie, he spotted. Dilly can't be stopped. Even a frag grenade won't unsettle him. He'll go for another swing. Bailey provides the coverage. Whipping around Dilly. He's finally getting off the clock, but Stokaj, still a difficult task laid out in front of him. Kaz, or rather taps, prone in the luggage hallway. Some explosives will detonate. The AC moves up, sees the shots, but he's looking at the wrong angle. Still he manages to react, but the MP5, it gets the headshot. Paragon, they stop the bleeding, and even an unsuccessful spawn peek, it's not enough to shake the Hookah Lounge setup.
What a round here from Paragon, showing that they're unbeatable just now on Hookah site, winning it second time now as we're heading into Kitchen. But just want to touch up on that round just briefly. What a recovery there from Paragon, especially from, I think that was Dilly on the Muzzy with the that triple kill in Aqua Balcony. I think he was the star player of that round.
Couldn't agree with you more. He solely shut down the largest pillar of that plan, and he didn't die until the round was essentially decided. It's so conflicting, because, oh my word, finally Skittle, they shut down the spawn peek attempt by Paragon. They get a 5v4 off the rip, and for the narrative that we've been building up, that it's the first right move, the first opening pick, the first bit of successful utility used, or any more so that dilemma, it didn't matter because Skittle wasted away the advantage, and they didn't properly push together. The largest success that you can have in clearing Aquabar is by using intel, communicating with your team, and getting the utility to clear out the player behind the bar. We all know what that Roni is capable of, and so by presenting 1v1 individual fights, you're giving it the opportunity to create the comeback energy for Paragon.
As round number 5 now starts. See if any more of this aggressive spawn piece is going to happen. And yep, here it is, a bullet hole spawn peek from Milo. And oh, there's a victim there ready to run in. But Milo, he just gets off of it just in time to be unscathed. Although I think he could have gotten quite the nasty kill there. The roam game here from Paragon. 2 players playing upstairs, the Jaeger and the Mozzie. Bailey does get one of the stock hatch, and that's a very early pick here on the side of Paragon. That's your IQ off the board, so it's going to be a hard time spotting that pulse and or any other electronic utility that Paragon Esports have brought out into the map this time around. Well, the pulse from below is going to play massive into giving Paragon that valuable intel. So he is going to spot that there are some players upstairs and outside ready to deal some damage.
Yet to have actually opened up the door. Curious choice. Bailey's back up on his vertical extension, but not as much HP. It won't allow him to play so comfortably as we had seen in the previous demonstration of service. Taps is up here to provide some help as well. The Ella shotgun gets caught out by Infurious, responding to the opening death. But even on a shred of HP, Bailey, he's still making it happen for his lineup. Whipping around Milo, there he goes. Nitro steals the life of Jinx. All of a sudden, we're back into another clutch for Joker and we, who have to try and difficultly accept the possibility that Bailey is still on the roam. He's still got gas left in the tank. See the logic bomb used, try to unsettle him or gather some element of the intel. Joker's up on the vertical angle again, waiting on the rooftop with the possibility that he can get shots through inside of Hookah. Transitioning Bailey, would you believe it? His 3rd kill, even so, being on low HP. Possession of diffuser, 60 seconds left. Joker was a big force in the earlier match, and Bailey finally taken it down. The Twitch drone rolls on through to get the confirm. Still a 1-on-3 though, but they're continuing to give these battles away. You can't let Joker fight his way back into this one, because with Bailey now gone, you don't have your key working force. It's just up to Milo and Kaz, and Nitro still in the pocket of the pulse with the cardiac sensor at the ready. The Malusi moving from angle to angle, still holding out and persevering to try to stop them. They have the intel now. Joker is position known inside the lobby. Pulse waits on the other side of the wall, which she challenges in. Malusi trying to hold this one off. This could be a huge play, but Joker, sliver of damage taken through the wall by the spam shots. Kaz, he holds up. The crossfire, it's at the ready. Twitch needs these 1v1 fights, but Kaz, he'll hold on. Paragon for another round of the coastline defense.
Almost so Joker pulling the full 180, bringing that round back, but it wasn't to be. He brought it back to from a 4v1 into a 2v1. He did his best, but I think he's missing his Ash very, very dearly now. He only has 4 kills on his name, whereas if you look at the last map, he would have had at least double that at this stage in the game. But you can't talk about Frank without talking about Bailey. He's been going on a tear on that Jaeger. He has a lot of kills on his name, and that last round, I would even go as far to say he carried the most of it.
Final round of the first half, and without a win here for Skittle, they will be facing down pretty much the same story that we had earlier on Theme Park, where it's a complete recovery by one side and a utter domination on the first split. We saw how that was closed out by Skittle, and for this to be Paragon's map, there could be a similar story and a very swift first 2 maps in this series, with Cafe Dostoevsky still sitting on the horizon. Skittle need somebody else to step up and be a playmaker. We didn't develop this narrative earlier that there was even frags across the board. That was not how Skittle played. It simply wasn't. There was players 10 kills, 9 kills, 8 frags, well above the rest of their team. They played a fragging style of Siege, and Coastline is a map that feeds into that, but it's not working. The game plan has fallen to crumbling ruins for Skittle, and this looks like Paragon shaping up to take control and step onto the doorstep of match point for Coastline.
Yet another spawn peek here from Milo, but yet again to no avail, as all these spawn peeks have, as you said a couple rounds before, it's just showing Skittle.JPEG that Paragon are ready to take it. They're ready to take this gunfight to them, and it's not over. They want to show that they can win this second map and push it all the way over to Cafe Dostoevsky, but we're not there just yet. You still have a couple more rounds to play here on Coastline. Dilly, meanwhile, here at service, gonna kill some drones, dwindling down. Skittle.JPEG's drone economy, only 5 drones left. That's half of their drones gone, and not even half of the round has elapsed. Furious and the Nomad has taken control of lobby, but Dilly is gonna get onto Joker, and that is your IQ off the board. He's gonna get another one to Wee. He might get more if he is not careful. He gets the Nomad with a triple, and he can't get the 4th, but Infurious is ready in the lobby. And now it's all down to Infurious and Jinx. So a 2v4 situation yet again. We have seen this many, many times, maybe in different sites, but this situation is all too common for us now.
Skittle, the only round they had managed to claim so far on Coastline was an attack on Bar, but they have lost their vertical, something they had in the previous attack win. They don't have Nomad, no more of her utility to be used, and so all of their faith lands on the soft destruction duo of Infurious and Jinx, who are still struggling to pick up the pieces. Lifeline concussion sent on in, but does not manage to detonate. Skipping Millo, who still hides in the corner here, and with low time for Skittle, they're going to have to make this decision to push in hastily and perhaps lose out on the opportunity to get the full intel for the Melusi, who still sits hiding in the corner. This could be the huge play. She's yet to be spotted. Skittle are seemingly unaware of the position, still hiding close. Jinx will pick one off. He moves around the corner. Millo, he'll find one. Transitioning, he watches deep inside service. Meanwhile, in Furious, he moves towards the jungle hallway, looking to move on in. A little wonderful reaction shot, moving it into 1-on-2 territory. Certainly winnable for a Zofia, but Paragon have everything that they need. Plenty of utility to make this one winnable, and Kaz will seal the deal as he has done for so many rounds in benefit of Paragon. A 5-1 half. They have a stranglehold on the momentum.
That's the first half of the regulatory in this match of Coastline, and yet again we saw one player of Paragon making all the difference. It was Dilly this time on the Legion that got a massive triple kill, 2 in service and 1 more in lobby. If he just had a gun with a bigger mag capacity, he could have maybe have gotten the Zofia as well. But that wasn't the case, and it left 2 players of Skittle.JPEG in a 2v4 situation, a situation that is very, very unfavorable for them, as I must not explain for you. So, at the end, I think it's just Paragon. It's the Paragon half, and, well, the score has everything to say for it. 5-1 now as we head into the second half.
Quite the advantage to hold the momentum, all in the favor of Paragon, and it seems like their ranks are filled with high spirits compared to Skittle, who are awfully silent in the chat for Coastline, hoping that they can perhaps recover a little bit, pick themselves back up, and ship out on the defense. Now, the Dokubi being brought, a Blackbeard on top of that. Quite the quirky lineup for Paragon. I wonder if we'll see the Ying be brought later as potentially the effort to close this one out when Paragon eventually move up to match point. Legion being brought by Stokaj. We saw how well the T5 has played so far when it was Paragon who had that in their corner, but I don't know if it'll exactly transition on the benefit of the Skittle defense. Dilly will jump out, immediately using a logic bomb, perhaps. Maybe that was second thoughts for him. But I wonder how the Blackbeard is going to work out, because we all know what Coastline is. It's windows, it's the entry points. And Blackbeard only serves to reinforce that narrative that your opening duel can be the one that has the most impact. It's not about the execute, it's not about, all of these other things. It's about how you step foot first and how you transition that into the mid-round phase.
You do see now Joker back on the Jaeger, one of his comfort operators for sure. He didn't have the Ash in the first half, but let's see if he can maybe double or even more add more kills to his name. Only time will tell, as 1 minute or almost 1 minute has passed and Paragon are now making their way into the building. No real map control has been established just yet, or as what I can see. Oh no, they definitely have a lot of map control, a lot of bedroom control, and now they're holding VIP and holding the long angles towards hookah and billiards. See if any of Skittle.JPEG is going to overextend, but no, Jinx is going to get a C4 call on the Dilly, and no more logic call bombs, no more annoying phone calls from Dokkaebi this round.
The floor of VIP, it's always quicksand that you have to be aware of, and that's exactly the way that you want to start this. Have the opening kill. It manages to back you in the manpower, though Stokosh and Jinx taking a little bit of HP themselves, so not able to sit at full. The Blackbeard does good work. He moves across the double door angle, eliminating Stokosh, as we had just mentioned. Now the Legion down for the count. No use of that SMG. In the response, though, Milo taking a little bit of health, and the same said for Joker. Bailey trying to bounce back here inside of the long hallway outside of VIP, but Wee is ready for it. This could be the real moment. Joker, he's down, but the kill is still there for Skittle, who can go for the recovery, get themselves back up and into the battle. Charging in, it'll be the entrance that really matters, but now with Milo down in the grave, Kaz hassled and distracted from below. 40 seconds to make this play. He'll manage to spot Infurious. So many members of Skittle on low HP, even now themselves needing to worry about the prospect of that toxic canister. Kaz, I don't think he really has a way to fight into this. There's a Banshee in his way. There's Infurious who can provide below, can get the intel, and can let them know when to move. The smoke, he'll give that battle away. The only member of Skittle who is still sitting at a healthy pool of HP for the Zofia. She rotates closer and closer. This could be the moment of destruction or destiny. Skittle will get their second round of play.
2-5 now, the score on the side of Skittle.JPEG. Very well played from the side of them. Brought it back down to a 1v3, 1v4 situation at the end. Very, very well played. I was distracted otherwise, excuse me. Didn't catch a lot of that round, but so we are going to be heading into Kitchen and Service. Could this be a defender-sided coastline game?
I don't know. I'm not sure, really. You know, Coastline is a very difficult map to look at. I think a lot of people, when they answer a map, if they're bringing statistics to back up their viewpoint, they're like looking at Pro League, looking at, you know, what the higher level of competition has to say about that. But down inside T4, I feel like it's more the preparation you do for the map that impacts what expectations we have. And maybe, you know, compared to attacking Coastline, the defense provides an opportunity that's a little bit more approachable.
We are moving in here. The Oryx of Inferiors doing some work, destroying some walls, destroying some hatches. You're headed to Kitchen, as I've mentioned before. Round number 8. Skittle.JPEG still have quite the deficit to make up. 3 rounds to be exact, and there's no better time to do it than now. They are only allowed 1 slip-up. If they lose 1 more round, that is going to put Paragon Esports at a match point situation. But that's not to say that that isn't something that they can afford. They have another map to play, but as a team, that's not something you want to rely on. You want to just close it out as quickly as possible, so Skittle.JPEG definitely want to win this map. And if they want to win it, they've got to win a couple of rounds in a row now. So we are going to be looking into the attackers spawning in. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remain. A lot of time here still to go, and a lot of time for Skittle.JPEG to kind of reassess their situation and hopefully keep the momentum of last round and keep it going until the end of the map. That's most favorable for them, of course.
Now, that would be the big benefit of this round, too. It kind of established that it's not completely over with. That was absent on Theme Park, and it was to the destruction of Paragon. They were never able to recover their efforts, and so they ended Theme Park in quite the DBNO state. Jinx teases the angle. Still waiting inside 90 and providing the holdout. Curious rappel. It looked like one player was over on like the security rappel, an angle we don't often see. Yeah, there's still somebody just out there waiting. Milo provides sort of a security to make sure nobody actually enters CCTV for the rest of the defense. Bailey going for the vertical play up above, or guarding perhaps the retake angle. Paragon's steps as far as Kitchen and Service is in mind, I would think would be beginning with vertical play on the actual rooftop of the site, but they have fairly split presence all around the map. Infurious could be in a real risky position. It seems like they've identified that Skittle want to roam, but Infurious is not in a position where he's being shut down just yet. But now as he rotates back, this will be the moment that we watch for. Does the Twitch catch him, or is Infurious now going to be stuck inside the office?
He's going to run back to blue bar. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. A lot of time wasted, and Infurious finally gets that kill on the Kaz. That's your Zofia off the board, and a good entry kill for the side of Skittle.JPEG, asserting their dominance over this round in the early beginnings. But at least with the opening frag. Early it's not, as there's only 1 minute remaining, so I'm just going to have to crawl back on my words right there. Milo has gotten off the rappel and is not going to start a push of his own. Dilly Doe answers back with one on stock hatch, and that is your Mira off the board. Dilly himself is going to lose a lot of damage to the Legion, I think that of Whip Wee, and from above, the Muzzy will reign supreme as Dilly falls to his demise. And now a 4v3 situation, and Jinx from up top is not being answered to. He's going to have free reign, and Joker finds yet another one. Now it's Milo all alone on the window with another window from before, with a shot through the wall! And that's Jinx off the board. What a shot from Milo. That's a highlight reel shot for sure. But to make it a real highlight reel, is going to need to get in this 1v3 situation that he's left himself in. It has the diffuser in hand, but the time is ticking down. Wee goes down. The timer is getting really, really close to 000, and he's not going to be able to win this, at least not in conventional standards. Joker is in a safe position. Infurious can go for the peek, and he loses it, but the Jaeger is going to be sitting safe in lobby, and that's going to win them the round. And now Skittle.JPEG are crawling back slowly but surely. 3-on-5 now is a round score.
Tech pause, or maybe a little bit of a tactical timeout? The question is there to be asked as far as Paragon, who have started to slip back just a little bit more. I think this is a little bit of a streak beginning to accumulate. It seems like Skittle have kind of answered the question that Ghostline is working out better for them on the defense, and whether or not we'll see more of a manageable half that looks good for them, presenting an opportunity to win back and perhaps reach the end of regulation, or win it before we send us to that point. Or there could be overtime. There's really a lot of possibilities left here. The thing to always remind ourselves is Paragon need this one. You know, even though they've held the round count and they've had the lead for so long, they're not out of the woods. There's a possibility for a comeback. And if they can't close out Coastline pretty quickly now, we could be looking at a straight up 2-0.
Yeah, it's their match to lose at this point. They have had a 4-round advantage, has dwindled down to 2. Skittle.JPEG is half the advantage, but they still have it. Paragon still have it, and they need to be able to extend it now. They want to win that to push this over into Cafe Dostoevsky, because as you said, if they don't, they're out of the count. That's them out of ECS for this season, and they're going to have to look at what they're going to do next season. So it's all up to them. They have to bring the game over to Skittle.JPEG and be, hey, look, you might be in the lead map-wise, but we're in the lead round-wise, and we want to keep it that way until the end of this map.
So currently we are at 5 rounds won, so that is an opportunity to match point, but I just feel like Skittle have kind of shaken their rough start on the map and have begun to get a better idea of how Paragon want to play this. We're seeing a lot less of that idea that immediately Paragon are going to claim the opening pick because of a haphazard spawn peak that for Paragon worked out in a lot of rounds, but now the spawn more difficult to do that on the attack as far as Coastline. You have to be able to play a little bit more structured, and you have to use your intel in tandem with your utility and push with your manpower to claim that opening duel if you want to get that early leg up.
Yeah, indeed, and on the defensive side for Skittle.JPEG, as you said, they've been able to find their flow. They're back in it now, and they're winning it quite convincingly. At least the last round was quite convincing. Although they did give away the last-minute peaks, they had that one player playing in lobby of Joker that stayed safe. It's something I don't really like to say, and maybe is not completely true, but Joker is back on his comfort operator now. He's back on the Jaeger that he played on Theme Park really, really well. He was able to find a lot of kills with that, and I want to see maybe that is what could turn this all around for Skittle.JPEG. But with that being said, a lot of the other players on Skittle.JPEG have woken up this game as well.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing to keep in mind here. It's the fact that you need everybody to cooperate. You have to be firing on all cylinders. I think the previous round in Kitchen and Service, there was a big demonstration that Skittle are capable of doing that on more maps than just Theme Park. The vertical play, for example, it seemed like the player up above felt comfortable that she wasn't going to be constantly challenged, and so constantly just kept looking down through the floor, got so many picks, shut down the Blackbeard, whose importance we spelled out, and it removed that from being a possibility. Paragon, away from that round, now going to the double bars objective, they are not going to bring such an unconventional lineup. Instead, they will ditch the Dokkaebi and the Blackbeard, bringing a more rhyme for reason lineup.
Indeed, definitely way more standard setup here, lineup, excuse me, from the side of Paragon Esports. But you're going into a tertiary bomb site, a bomb site that Paragon could not hold the first time around. So let's see if Skittle.JPEG can keep the momentum that they've built up over the last 2 rounds and are able to pull through Blue Bar defense. Blue Bar is a site that is quite difficult to defend, at least for what lower tier teams. I think it's one of the most difficult sites to defend, but it's definitely more viable than Penthouse. Paragon have all spawned together on street and they're making their way over to the building. I'm pretty interested to see how this attack's going to go and what their attack strategy is going to be.
When we had seen this site come through earlier in the first half, it was actually the one that went back and forth. It wasn't just a complete success for Paragon. And what that round had come down to was a confident plan that was executed well. They went above. All their members were on the same page as far as Skittle in that attack. And so what I would hope here is that Paragon can kind of achieve that similar level of success. And I think, personally, they will be able to. That is kind of backed by the fact that Skittle aren't holding vertically from the outlines that we can see so far. They don't have a setup upstairs. They have like one roamer. They've got Infurious waiting on white. That does not constitute an actual extension or much of an obstacle that Paragon are going to have to overcome. For Skittle, I think that has a little bit of drawbacks. You're not able to actively deny the vertical control, and so Paragon, they can move forward, pulling forward more of that rope of the map control, and Stokaj is the smoke, is the only one up here, but look at what utility he has covering him. None. He's got smoke canisters, and that's it, but you have to save those for later in the round.
As you said, Paragon has now gotten firm control over the bedroom side of things, and with that being said, I guess they're opening up the floor and maybe push people out of the kitchen extension that we usually see on a Blue Bar hold. Dilly has started to make those peek holes from above, and we'll see if Paragon is going to be able to capitalize on that lack of top floor roam and top floor extension. Jinx, though, is going to get 1, and that's a Dilly off the board. Your sledge, and a lot of soft destruction has just gone down the drain. Oh, what a shot onto Milo right there on white stairs. Oh, that was nasty. He could get another one here if he knows what's going on. I think this is Zofia. No, it's Taps on the IQ playing here, and Kaz is also in lobby, but man count now firmly in Skittle.JPEG's hands as Jinx hasn't even lost 50% HP.
He's still keen to continue holding this position, and why not? The IQ will move. She's still waiting at the bathroom door there. Coming on through. Certainly, Jinx is aware that it's the G8, his primary opposition. Kaz battled back for the Jaeger, and Furious taking a little bit of fight, but now the Nomad goes down. Stokaj right there, front and center with the shotgun. Taps moves down the hallway. He'll rip 1. Stokaj is dead. Losing your smoke, the Malusi, she's right there, but the time, it's getting lower and lower. Taps does not have the diffuser. Kaz is out of position. He needs to rotate, but now the case is lost. Another kill will fly on through, and Skittle's failure to confidently assert control of the top floor is their doom. Losing out on any hope that this round might come around, and giving Skittle.JPEG one more round on the board, now sitting within arm's reach of tying up the map.
Indeed, a 5-5 is on the dawn of the horizon, and oh my, the momentum. 3 rounds in a row winning your tertiary bomb site is huge. This is going to give you so much momentum. Going back to your primary bomb site of hookah and billiards now, it's going to give you such a great mentality and such a good headspace to be in. Like, guys, look, the last 3 rounds we've been absolutely dominating them. It hasn't come down to a 1v1 or a 1v2. It's come down to a 1v3, a 1v4. They've been winning these rounds in such amazing fashion, such compelling fashion, that I can winning hookah and tying it back up to a 5v5 round score.
I think I agree with that view of things. Paragon played so good on the defense, but their attacks are quite lackluster. The point I want to highlight the most in that previous round was what I would think is kind of hesitancy. They did not have the proper intel to make the decision, and if, you know, by my miscalculation, if they had that intel, there just wasn't somebody to step in and say, we need the vertical control. Because what came down that round was players who were uncoordinated, for example, pushing into the bathroom side. What world should Jinx exist in that all of a sudden Paragon push into bathroom in what seems like kind of a spur of the moment idea? That's exactly what I think that last round was. Paragon were struggling, they didn't know what they wanted to do, and so they made a decision that did not work. And they shouldn't have had to, because the site control was the main focus, and there was so little of vertical pressure. If you just barged in, you would have been able to take that, and it's kind of frustrating to see for Paragon's attacks.
Half a minute has passed now in round number 10. The round is going to be big for Skittle.JPEG and Paragon alike. He could put themselves in match point for the fourth time in a row now. So let's see if they can finally will be able to do that. Jinx is still playing very, very aggressively here. And not that aggressively, excuse me. Let me just crawl back on my words yet again. He is playing in office though, and he has 2 players hunting him down. The Ayana is playing in security. Oh, there's a person there, but he's looking the wrong way. Oh no, Dilly. That's so unfortunate. That's the head taken off of Dilly, and that's yet again your sledge falling first. The IQ is going to swing around though, but Jinx won't be able to win that gunfight as Taps' G8 is going to reign supreme and make quick work off of Jinx on the Muzzy. You have 13 kills on him now, but no more will be added this round. A 4v4, 1 minute and 30 remaining. But map control is still very, very... Well, no, actually you could take control of bottom first. Interesting. This is... I'm actually really interested to see how this is going to work out. Excuse me, sidetracked here.
No complete man advantage in this round. Not another domination, as the start of Skittle is a little bit more rocky than was seen in rounds past, with the trade having gone on down and losing out on Jinx, the top performer. We will step in. He finds Millo as Paragon. They focus on the development of the vertical play, but challenging up Taps will go big. He shuts down Stokaj. The Smoke still struggling to earn his providence. Working below. Seems like Paragon are having a bit of a trouble getting onto this map control and approaching the site in a confident manner. Taps is dead below. Diffuser given up in such a vulnerable spot. We can provide perfect safety for this. And Furious is backing up, still waiting around luggage side. He's quite wary of the white stairs, and for good reason. Sophia, she moves around, but even despite the crosshair placement, it still does not work out for Infurious, and it looks like Paragon are going to approach this round and try to win it on frags. They know the Joker can play that game. We've seen him do it before, and recovering the diffuser, ignoring the objective play. I don't know if I totally agree with that idea. We has just completely gone away to hide, leaving Joker by himself, but without the case, without the diffuser, that could benefit them hugely. Wrapping around the corner, Sophia will find the impact frag. 3 seconds to go, a Banshee in her way. There's no possibility that this round goes any other way than Skittle.JPEG. They move up. 4 rounds uninterrupted, 5-5. We're back at equal.
Wow, what a play there from the mute. They just go away to... They saw the case, or the diffuser, as you call it, the case, actually. Very interesting. The different word uses there. But it was downstairs, so they knew that Paragon did not have it. They decided, well, you know what? If they don't have it, they can't plant, and they need to kill me to win the round, so let me just go on. I'm going to go to the other side of the map. They can't kill me there. They can't kill me if I don't give them the gunfight. Joker was able to pick one more up, but couldn't find the second, and it left the Zofia of Kaz to be in... It left the Zofia of Kaz in a 1v1 that he could never win because the player was just on the other side of the map. So, brilliant play there from Skittle.JPEG, and unlucky for Paragon.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Truly unlucky. Quick Vision of the past, on the first split we had seen a 5-1 performance in favor of the defense. So far for the second split, it's looking kind of similar. It's been 4 rounds for Skittle, which leaves open round number 11 and round number 12 as a possibility for this to go into overtime, or for either of these two teams to pull ahead and win the next 2 rounds in a row. But I think a relevant statistic that is something I definitely want to bring up here is the fact in the second half, each of the first 4 rounds we've seen have been backed by an opening kill in the favor of Skittle.JPEG against Paragon.
Interesting statistic there as we are moving into round number 11. Round number 12, the full force of regulation has been confirmed. We are going all the way, at least as I said, in regulation. Paragon are going to now start making their way towards the building. They need to get around. They need to get it quick. If they can win this one, they can guarantee overtime, and with that, guarantee a shot to the next map. But don't forget here that Skittle.JPEG are on a tear. They have won 4 rounds in a row, and they might be looking towards the 5th. That's definitely what they want to do, as Paragon have taken control of the Hall of Fame. And there's a player, not quite sure who it is, but he's on the other side. It's going to be Joker on the Jaeger. He's been going on a tear on the defensive half. So let's see if he can get these players and maybe kill some people. But Dilly's going to take the first gunfight on the Muzzy, and Jinx hasn't been missing his shots either. So let's see how that's all going to work out. But Jinx got found from the other side by Kaz, and that's the first opening kill for the side of Paragon.
Quite an interesting turn of events, and doubling down now. Both of your strong operators, Jinx and Joker, are gone. And Furious, there's a void on the top floor. He'll look to fulfill as he rotates up, jumping now into Aqua. Stokash, he's trying to chase this frag. Could provide sufficient enough distraction for Infurious to move in as the Oryx. This could be a really calculated play. If there's no focus and no intel on luggage, Infurious could be the difference maker. Instead of going towards the east side, he'll rotate around to come in from Hookah, challenging the opening in the VIP door and looking deep inside of the DJ booth. Kaz will jump, maybe looking to go out towards the balcony and open up the VIP window, but instead he'll return to the same position we had seen him in previously. Huge pick there, taps down for the count. G8A1, it won't save you. Stokash, he's moving up for a retake of his own making. Seizing control now of Theater, watching in towards the guitar's door. Paragon, a strong start, but a little bit of hesitancy and miscalculation as we move towards the mid stages. Excellent response. Kaz, perfect timing to save his teammate, the Sledge. Dilly, he'll still hang on. And Furious looking to make a clutch play as he'll jump out of the Towel's door. Milo is taken away, but now the Furious forced to use the Rima dash out of cover and rotating back to the side. He'll even open a section in the wall. 30 seconds to go. It's up to Paragon. If they want to get the match point and change the history of Coastline, this would be the round to do it and to promote their efforts. Goyo, rather Oryx, still pressured from below. Frag grenade sent on through. Replicator giving Wee just a little bit of a scare. Kaz, he challenges in. Infurious, a triple kill. Dilly, he's still above. No. There's no time, no diffuser, no hopes. This round is over. Skittle.JPEG, they move up to match point, a comeback story, and an utter turn of events.
5 rounds in a row. Are we going to see a reverse sweep here from Skittle.JPEG? They certainly are on the verge of doing so. They need one more round to win this map, and with that, the series 2-0, placing themselves in the semifinal, but we aren't there just yet. It's now up to Skittle.JPEG to prove that they can hold on to the defensive side of Coastline by going to the tertiary bomb site of Blue Bar and Sunrise. But oh my, that last round, it was a Paragon round. They had 2 early picks, 2 good entry kills. They had the man advantage, but the retake up top and ultimately the timer that came in clutch for Skittle.JPEG and the 2 kills was amazing. And that's just how they turned around.
Really the largest opportunity on the attacking side for Paragon that we've seen yet, and even commanding an immediate 5-on-3 with the vertical play in motion, with seemingly full control of the map. they still managed to find a way to lose the round in quite surprising fashion, and I think it's down to Skittle.JPEG. They had lost early Jinx and Joker, but it was Infurious and We who both stepped up, and as well some credit to be given to Stokaj for creating a distraction and disorienting Paragon to think there was more of a play to be made at the main stairs compared to the actuality of the Oryx coming from the Aqua Billiard side.
Round number 12, the very, very last round of regulation has kicked off, at least the action phase of it has. You're gonna now see the battle of this series. Paragon Esports need to win this round. Do they want to stay in this series and make that shot and keep their shot at making the semifinals? If they lose this round, it's all over for them, and it's going to be a heartbreaker for sure. They had a 4-round lead that has been turned around and up on its head, as now Skittle is ahead with 6 rounds to 5, but Paragon is not out of the count just yet. This is their time to shine. They have nothing to lose yet again, just like on Theme Park, so let's see if they can make this attack count.
We've seen bars play out before, and it was quite a pitiful attempt for Paragon, who lacked a real semblance of the vertical play. The same won't be true in this round, much to their benefit. Openings already created inside of the Hookah Lounge, applying a lot of pressure into Sunrise, but Skittle play this in exactly the way that you should when you realize the vertical play is being developed. Hold offside, inside jungle, inside office, as we see Joker doing, and if you can manage it, station a player inside of the blue bar. Minute and 35, quite a low time scenario. Dilly already taking the opening blow, the Maestro shut down. It's a big one here for Paragon, an opening kill to back them with map control already well in their favor. Kaz is tagged up just a little bit. He'll be the one to really keep an eye on. If he can make this play, his team should surely benefit. Furious on low health as well. No nitro for him, but Joker finds a big one. Bailey tried to move in. It looked like, I don't know what his idea was, but surely it doesn't work out. Joker now a second, a complete and utter upending of the start of this round. Another one peaks, and Furious giving away the advantage that Joker had just so expertly worked for. Taps will rip it right back. He moves his team into the advantage. This could be an opportunity to get the plant down.
As now Milo is going for that exact thing. He's going to get smoked down. This forces him to get off the plant, losing a lot of HP and the process. Stockhatch finds one, and it's now Milo and Dilly. They have the full pressure and weight of their team. Jinx finds one. It's all up to Dilly, but no, Joker answers back, and that's Skittle.JPEG with the 2-0 sweep on the series and a reverse sweep on the map. They pulled it back from a 5-1 deficit to win it 7-1 on their defensive half. They have just turned this map completely on its head.
I think perhaps Paragon could have used a little bit more talking in chat and a lot more action on the playing field for all of their words, their commentary. It didn't get them far once we saw the side split hit, and a flawless 6 rounds in a row, very similar to what we had gone down earlier on Theme Park. I have to say, Skittle, they were giving it a little bit during the start of Theme Park, and so there was some need for reciprocity from Paragon, but I think they might have taken it one stage too far, and that gave Skittle all the comeback energy that they needed to earn this 2-0. I'm really looking forward to how they'll perform in the semifinals, and man, Yannick, we just got quite the show.
Man, that coastline game, it's wow, what a game indeed. The reverse sweep from Skittle, they were looking so down and out of the count with a 5-1 split, but they just showed that, no, we can get this reset. We might be down 4 rounds, but hey, doesn't matter. New half, new starts. We can do just what Paragon did in their defensive half, and well, they did that, and they went a step further, taking the complete sweep, and that's all she wrote. They won it, and just in what a fashion did they do it?
Yeah, right at the side switch, it just seemed like Skittle kind of just put their nose to the grindstone and said, you know, let's ignore all of this chat that's going on and all of the drama that Paragon are clearly trying to bait them into, and they won it. We had the idea brought up that maybe Paragon were going to be kind of a map 2 team, that they struggled on their on the first map in the series because it was theme park. And, you know, if you're going to pick theme park in a playoff match, with the obvious reality that it's not in pool for pretty much any other competitions anymore, I probably wouldn't expect anything different than the result we had. But still, even then, Skittle looks so good. I would say probably one of the best attacking performances I've ever casted on theme park, and that means something. But there was just so much. It was so close on Ghostline, and for the first half, I don't know if I ever would have predicted that comeback. 6 rounds in a row, it has to be said.
Indeed, it's the heroic comeback. It's the comeback story that we all like to see and like to cast over. I'm sure you can contest to that. Yeah, it was the Skittle show at the defensive half. It was the Skittle show in theme park, and they just show that they're the better team in this overall series.
We have a little bit of news coming forward tomorrow. We have the Last Resort playing against Lion's Creed, which will be a trio cast. We managed to get Kenny, Jerry, and Frazier coming in, so you'll be sure to tune into that later in the week. On Friday, we have Skittle again playing versus Jaeger's Academy, which is sure to be an interesting game after the development we've had tonight. Saturday, the losers finals, and the point we've all been building up to come Sunday, the grand finals. Be sure to tune into that, but that's all we've got for you tonight. I've been Sticula, my co-caster Yannick, and behind the scenes, Ideal on the production, and Grissom working with him as well. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. We hope to see you here again tomorrow.